Good evening and welcome back to Board Prep Blueprint 2026 Part 2. I'm Yogendra Singh and this is the first session of the day focused on preparing. Am I audible? Pratham, am I audible? Is my voice okay?
Yeah, you're audible.
Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Board Prep Blueprint 2026. I'm Yogendra Singh and I'm host for your session for the day, focused on preparing class 12th students for the evolving CBSE exam pattern in physics, chemistry, and biology.
Should I take over, Yogenji? Should we begin?
Am I audible, Navneet?
Yes, you're audible.
Can Navneet please change the slide?
1 minute.
Okay. So today we are having Miss Pritha Jain. She's an experienced and passionate educator with over a decade of teaching experience, alumna of La Martin for Girls Kolkata and Lady Sri Ram College for Women Delhi. Known for connecting classroom theory with current events, making learning relevant and engaging. Learner-centered approach that transforms every class into a dynamic exchange of ideas. Now, before we begin with the session, some housekeeping rules. Participants will be muted throughout the entire session. Please ensure you have a pen and paper to note important information. The chat box will be enabled during the Q&A round and as required by the speaker. And at the end of the session, Ms. Pritha will be announcing the sessions for the winner. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody, students, teachers, parents, and everyone else who's joined us. We are now very, very close to our CBSE exams of grade 12th, and I'm sure everyone is getting very nervous. And in most schools, syllabus is probably nearing completion, if not already completed. So now the focus of this session is going to be that we know our content. Now, how do we go about practicing papers? How do we go about revising our questions? The previous session I had in August was about understanding competency-based questions. By now, maybe we are more familiar with our content and we have some sort of an understanding about what competency-based questions are, right? So now this session is more about mastery and some very practical tips which you as students may have already heard from a lot of other grown-ups around you, from adults around you. But as an educator, as a teacher, and with more than 13 years of experience, I would like to, and also as a student, as an economics student also, I would like to just give you tips on what works, what doesn't. Very basic, very simple. And at any point of time, please allow the chat box to be open. You are most welcome to ask me questions. I will try my best to answer them to my best knowledge and to your satisfaction. Okay, let's begin. And also on the live streams, I think S. Chand can also help us with the live stream questions. If there are any comments or any questions coming in from the live stream also, please also help us put them on chat box and I will try and address all the questions as much as possible. So just starting with a very small overview of what exactly competency-based questions are and how we have to go about it. Just give me a second. Let me just share my screen and I would like to make it full screen. Anybody who already was part of the previous session and is already also here today? Any hands raised? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, never mind. So we'll start, and it's a 1 hour session. I'll keep roughly 35-40 minutes for my talking, and then the next 20 minutes can be for addressing all queries. Okay, so this is the agenda for today, and we are going to be revising competency-based questions, clearing myths, and simplifying them through examples, practical strategies, effective paper presentation, and emphasizing consistent practice. Okay, and of course, thanks to S. Chand, we have this fabulous resource in the rapid revision series. I have personally used it very often with students and for my own practice also when I want to set papers. So I highly recommend this resource to all of you for using this. Okay, so the paper is 180 minutes or 3 hours. It is 80 marks. And there is a mix, and now they have become more objective. So, 10-15 years ago, there used to be subjective papers, there used to be longer papers, longer answers. Now it's not like that. So it's actually very easy to score 100 on 100 or 80 on 80. 20 marks, of course, is project and internals. Extremely easy to score full marks because the pattern has become so objective. Okay, so we have, of course, macro and Indian economic development. So I would also like to bring in here that when you are studying, competency is not just competency as an assessment. It is also competency in your understanding, your grasp of the subject, your knowledge, your passion for it. You will be competent in something that you're passionate about. So hopefully, if not already, although you should have already been become very passionate about economics, but if you haven't, it's never too late. If when you read up on general knowledge, on trivia, on actual things, because the focus in CBSE is on Indian economic development. When you study the Indian economy since its independence, what it was pre-independence, even now, that will also help you develop the competency and help you address the questions and assessment. Because when you appreciate the why behind the what, that is what is going to help you achieve mastery. And hopefully some of you will become economists in future and be doing what we are doing, or maybe framing policies for the country and governing the economy. Okay, so coming back to very mundane papers, we have section A, which is macroeconomics, 10 MCQs, 1 mark each, 2 questions, which are 3 marks each, 3 questions, which are 4 marks each, and 2 questions, which are 6 marks each. Nothing to be afraid of. You can think that, oh, 1 and 3 and 4 marker to I tackle kar lunga, main 6 marker ka kya karunga? Very, very easy. Break it down. Everything that is seemingly big can be broken down into multiple parts. हमें cake दिखता है ना बड़ा सा, and you say, oh, how can we eat this? What do? We just slice it. छोटा slice करते हैं उसको. Same thing with questions. Questions that carry 6 marks, 8 marks, you just have to break it down into what it is that it is asking us, and it is as easily tackled as a 3 marker or a 4 marker or a 1 marker. Okay, and section B, of course, is Indian economic development. There is just so much knowledge out there. what you can do is, in addition to your NCERT books, read the rapid revision, read some more news, read some more feedback, read some more resources. There is just so many videos online. Your generation is blessed. You have so much information available and so easily available. Please make use of this. Make it a passion. रात को सोने से पहले थोड़ी सी economic news पढ़ के सोना है. Some background you want to read and try and analyze it in terms of what you have studied. Okay, you can, if nothing else, आप government website पे चले जाओ, look at their press information releases, read one or two things, just read the headlines of what is happening. You will have an idea of where our economy is headed, what is our path of development. Again, 10 MCQs, 2 questions, 3 marks, 3 questions, 4 marks, and 2 questions, 6 marks. So pretty much the same pattern as macro and Indian economic development. A lot of times I get questions about, should we only do MCQs first? Should we only do section A first? Should we only do section B first? I would like to recommend here that when you're attempting your paper, try and do what you're most comfortable with. Okay, if you are and there is no size, no one size that can fit all. As students, you know where your strength lies. Maybe for you, your strength is in long questions. Then leave enough space in the beginning of the paper, attempt your long questions, and then numbering up karke rakho, go back to the short questions. If you feel that, I think I'm better at MCQs, I can attempt them फटाफट, ये 10 number मैं जेब में रखता हूँ, and then let me go on to tackling the difficult ones. ऐसा कर. So if there are 20 people listening to this session, all 20 of you will have a different approach. What is it that you are most comfortable? Okay, so there is nobody who can tell you कि ये करो या ये नहीं करो. You have to do this. And when will you know कि आपकी strength क्या है? When you do sufficient practice. And for that, we use a book like that, Rapid Revision. Because आपको practice कैसे आएगी? जब आप question bank लेके बैठोगे. Right? You have to attempt question banks, you have to do past papers, you have to do mock tests. And when you do these mock tests, you will have an idea of कहाँ मेरी स्ट्रेंथ है, मैं किस चीज में मुझे टाइम ज्यादा लग रहा है, कहाँ मुझे सोचना ज्यादा पड़ रहा है, कहाँ मैं फटाफट कर रहा हूँ. Okay, this is also the aspect of competency based questions. It is not a framework कि हम ये question competency है, ये नहीं है. The skill of answering the paper to optimize or to maximize your score is also competency. Okay, and that is what we will emphasize bar. All right, any questions? No? Let's move on. Please feel free. Anyone joining in now, most welcome to put in your questions on the chat. Anything that you want to ask, want to say, want to point out, anybody who wants to share their observations, let's make this interactive. Let's not make it one way. If you want to share something कि मेरे साथ ये strategy काम करी, मुझे लगता है मेरे friends को करेगी, please share with us. Okay, let's make this two-way rather than one way. Okay, I just want to move on to the next slide. All right, so paper structure, just sharing with you broadly. We've shared the marks breakup and we've shared the section A, section B. Another thing, आपके internal choices होंगी. You will not have a this or this. Within a question 3, आप 3A वाला ले सकते हो option या 3B वाला ले सकते हो, which means that you cannot do any selective studies. Okay, you have to know your content and you have to know it very well and very thoroughly. Because internal choice में same topic पे आप दो questions बना सकते हो. The paper will give you both questions. You will have to choose whatever you are most comfortable with. But that doesn't mean कि आप उस topic को छोड़ दो. Human capital आप छोड़ दो या development छोड़ दो. छोड़ नहीं सकते. Poverty छोड़ दो. Not possible. Poverty के अंदर आपको 2 या 3 questions के options आ सकते हैं. But you can't leave these topics altogether. So very strong advice to not do selective studies. Strongly advise that you must cover your content. Even if you have not done no preparation till now, you start today. You can easily score well in the exams in February, provided you do 20 to 30 minutes of economics every single day. Okay, this is guaranteed. And when you get those marks, you can thank us, you can thank S-Chan for facilitating this talk. 100% you will do well. Even if you start today, do it every single day. Okay, so just sharing with you the assessment objectives, how they are going to stress the kind of questions that are going to be asked. So remembering and understanding, which is recall, is 40% of your paper, which is again the traditional questions like your 2013, 2014, 2015, those kind of questions. State, list, identify. These are your command terms. What is the question asking you to do is known as the command term. So is it asking you to list? Is it asking you to explain? Is it asking you to evaluate, discuss, describe, identify, state? You have to see what is the command that the question is giving you. So 40% of these questions are going to be recall, memory. So you will have to do some bit of rote learning. The emphasis has now reduced, but you will still need to do some bit of rote learning. Some facts you will have to remember, some statistical data you will have to remember, some full forms you will have to remember of government agencies, of the government yojanas, of the programs that the government runs. You will have to remember some of these things. Okay, then application. So using the problem, they will give you a case study, a small situation. You will have to apply your knowledge of theory and solve it. That is 24 marks or 30%, which is a little bit higher order than pure memory. So I know what demand and supply is. How do I apply it to a situation that is given to me, that if there is a flood, what will happen to demand and supply of potatoes? How does it impact the market for potatoes? How does it impact potatoes? So these are questions that are based on theory but have a practical aspect to it. So these kind of questions are going to be for 24 marks. You know the policies that the government should adopt to eradicate poverty. What has it done? That is application. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? Did everyone actually benefit? That is your third level of questioning, which is analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So examine and break down the information. You have to make a judgment. You have to find evidence and propose alternate solutions. All of this in only 6 months. So it sounds like a lot, but actually it's very, very simple. What is the concept? How is it linked to the case study? Who is it good for? Who is it bad for? What can be done alternately? 5 things you need to remember, and you've got 80 on 80. Okay, any questions? Any observations? Anyone would like to comment? No? Okay, I'm moving on. I hope I'm not going too fast. I hope everyone's comfortable with the pace that I'm taking this talk. Just give me a thumbs up, please. Everybody who is in, just one reaction, one thumbs up.
So, Pritham, I'm sorry to interrupt. So, we have enabled the chat box for the learners. If they want to ask any specific question, learners, you can put your questions in the chat box. Ma'am will be answering your queries. Any specific query, any question if you want to ask.
Okay, nothing so far. Thumbs up. I would like to have seen some thumbs up. Yugendraji, please let me know in case it's happening.
Surely, ma'am. If we'll be getting any question, I'll just let you know which question we need to answer.
All right, thank you. Okay, so some strategies and tips just sharing with you. Critical management. So oftentimes you may feel that, oh, but I was prepared very well. I knew it. I just left out so many marks. I just left out these last 4 questions. Oh, but I should have done this. Oh, but it didn't strike me at that point of time. Okay, all this is the strategy of time management. So when you're preparing, you have to be consistent even when you're studying. Last minute cramming, you are likely to forget. You say 2 days, 3 days, 4 days before the exam, you say, oh, I have 1 week before my eco exam. I'm going to only study in the last 5 days. But you will forget, because it is just very superficial knowledge. You have not given sufficient time to your brain to download the information. You have not revised it enough. It is not sufficiently registered in your mind. So even if you say, oh, last 5 days I will mug it up and I will rote it up and I will go get score, it will not work. Okay, so competency in terms of thoroughness with your content. You have to know your content, and to be able to know your content, you have to do something every day. Can you practice 3 days and become a top basketball player? You can't. It takes years and years. Is Virat Kohli where he is just because he decided to practice 5 days before the match? He didn't. It is year long. So for you also similarly, the preparation has to be year long. It has to be consistent, dedicated effort at regular intervals. You have to make a routine. You have to abide by the routine. Okay. In the next 3-4 months, all you're expected to do is to focus on your 5 subjects in CBSE, to focus on the board exam, because they are key. They will also help you appear for your admission tests, for your entrance exams for colleges. All that is also very, very important. So you have to have a routine. You have to have a dedicated routine whereby you are studying minimum 7 to 8 hours every day. Okay. And just studying one subject every single day for that 8 hours is not going to be helpful. You have to mix it up so that you are optimizing your output, whatever you are maximizing out of your learning. So try and do a little bit every day. With economics, I would say that you should do at least 30 minutes. If you can, then at least do 1 hour. Okay. I had said this, do not do any selective study, because simply the question paper pattern does not permit selective studies. The questions are going to give you choices only in the long questions. 10 markers don't have any choice. 2 markers don't have any choice. 3 markers, there may be one choice. 4 marker also about one choice, and also 6 marker there is one question that is compulsory and one question that has a choice. That also you are not guaranteed. They keep changing the choices, right? So you can't have selective studies, because if God forbid that what you have left out is decided to come in the paper on both the questions, then what are you going to do? So no selective study. Okay, and again, when we study, we often tend to not write. We tend to just read our textbook, memorize, and say, oh, ho gaya, done. Not done. When you're absorbing, when you're reading and you're memorizing, it is floating around somewhere here. Only when you write it down do you completely download the information, and only when you're able to reproduce it are you able to see that how much you have actually managed to download or not. So when you study, you are expected to read the concept, mug it up, also attempt questions on it. So you can make your own notes. You can mug it up and then make your own notes little by little every day. You don't have to write the full sentences. Even if you write bullet points, right, it always helps. And then you have to attempt some questions, and you don't have to attempt past papers immediately. You should attempt questions topic wise from question banks. This is where our rapid revision series comes in, because it gives you questions which are topic wise. So when you've revised a particular topic and you want to test yourself whether I know it or not, you should do the rapid revision. Okay, only when you have completed the full thing should you go on to a past paper. Okay, then you may be very well prepared. You may have done your written preparation. You may have followed all my advice to the T. And then what do? How do you handle your exam anxiety? You're so nervous that, oh, will I ever be able to retain? Will I be able to recall? Will I be able to reproduce? So if you are adequately prepared, you will never get nervous. You will always be 100% sure of what you want to do, how you want to go about it. So always make sure that you go into the exam 100% prepared. Okay, see my 100% here? You have to be 100% prepared when you go into the exam. And after you have done, let's say, theoretical topics revision, you should also do some past papers or some long questions which you should get feedback from your teachers, because you may write pages and pages and pages and pages, but what if you're continuously making the same mistake over and over again? How do you know you made that mistake? Please reach out to a teacher or an adult nearby, or to your parents if they are qualified to help you. Please reach out to them and say, can you please check this for me? Because we ourselves, when we check, we tend to give inflated marks. We'll say, yeah, I know it, 3 points, I can see the 3 points. But to a third person, it may only seem as 2 points. You must always get a third person, preferably a qualified person, to go through the mark scheme and to check the answers for you. I am saying this only for the long answers. Okay? MCQ and the 2 markers you can do yourself, but for the 3 markers, 4 markers, and 6 markers, it is always advisable do some past papers and get some teachers to check it. No school teacher will ever say no to checking answers. They will always want to check your work if you are willing to do it for them. They will always benefit if you benefit. Okay? Let's move on. Okay. So while you're studying, while you're preparing, you feel that your life is only about studying. It's going to end. What do? We don't want this in our lives. This is not who we were meant to be. It's suppressing our individuality. We're not the people we want to be. We don't want to give us this 8 hours. There is no need to give that much. You sleep for 8 hours. Refresh your mind. If you do, sometimes some children also need naps. Please take short power naps. 15 minute, 20 minute, half an hour naps also in the day. It freshens your mind up. Especially when you're studying for your pre-boards and boards, you go on prep leave. You're going to need that time off to be able to solve your problems. You see that if you take shorter breaks and more frequent breaks during study, you realize that your mind is fresher. You are able to get more done and get more quality done. You will make less mistakes. Okay, and this is also true. By break, what do I mean? I don't mean go watch TV or scroll through reels. That just tires your brain out. Okay, a break means go out and play, meet your friends, talk to them in person, not on the phone. Any screen time is to be avoided, because when you are studying, you're also using a screen. Many of us are using laptops or TV videos. We are solving papers on screen, right? Some of us have textbooks on screen. So then if you're already exposed to the screen all the time, and for a break also you want to take on screen, that will not solve the purpose. You don't want to be tired out in your brain, because that reduces the quality of your work. So you feel like you're spending your entire day sitting in front of your desk. but actually next day if someone were to take a test, you don't remember much. Then it's your effort also gone, right? So how do we maximize the effort? How do we work smart? We have to work hard, but we also have to work smart. In a 24-hour workday, you must sleep 7 to 8 hours, and preferably early at night. Preferably wake up in the morning and study. It is always beneficial because early morning your mind is always going to be fresh. Okay, some children prefer to study in the night, they feel there is no disturbance. Okay, but then make sure that you're getting your 8 hours of sleep. Ideally switch to a morning routine. If not, at least get your 8 hours of sleep. If you're sleeping at 3 o'clock in the night, sleep till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Then when you wake up, then immediately sit down to study. And try and adjust your routine in a way where you realize that you're at your freshest when you wake up. Don't be groggy, sleepy when you're waking up. Then it's not the right time for you. When you wake up, you should be fresh and raring to go, saying, yes, I will complete maximum work today. Okay, so take breaks. You must get physical activity. It's a good idea at this age, you're 17, 18 years old. You must practice some sort of yoga, some sort of mindfulness, some sort of meditation to just calm yourself down. If your parents or your nearby friends, loved ones follow guru, practice that meditation. If you don't have anybody, you don't believe in all that, never mind. Just play some soothing music, sit in a corner with the soothing music on, listen to the music, just calm yourself down. Feel like everything in your body, your cells, your mind, your veins, your nerves are all just calming down. You see this, it gives you the same energy as a power nap. Just practice some breathing exercises. All of us in school have learned it. Just actually put these into practice. Whatever works for you. If you think 60 minutes of football is working for you, please go play that football. If you think that gardening is working for you, please do gardening. Any hobby that you can do for 30 to 40 minutes in the day that is bringing you peace and it is making you active. Take your dogs for a walk. Go help your parents in the fields. If they have fields and if you need to work with them, go help your parent. Go help your mother in the kitchen. Just 20-30 minutes also. You don't have to overdo it, right? But when you're not studying, you should be doing something that does not involve a screen. There are so many studies that have talked about the harmful effects, but as students, you need the screen also. So it is a double-edged sword. Okay, only once in 3-4 days you should put on TV, you should watch your favorite serial. Of course, do it, but don't overdo it. And it can't be the only source of recreation when you're studying. Okay, any questions? I hope you like what I'm saying. I'm sure it's not very comfortable. What I'm saying is not the best thing, but it's the truth. It's been practiced for generations. Okay, let's now come on to some strategies with regards to paper presentation. What actually happens in the exam? Okay, so follow instructions. Do not copy questions. Do not do questions more than what you're supposed to. Don't say, oh, your choices the and fut. I knew it all. I'm going to attempt it. Please don't do that. The paper is designed in such a way that you will need those 3 hours to complete your paper. Please utilize your time judiciously, right? Remember when we said 3 hours, 80 marks, 1.5 marks, you should finish with at least 40 marks. And then another 1.5 hours for the other 40 marks. Don't say that I'm going to finish my MCQs in 15 minutes and then spend that much time on my 6 mark or 3 mark. That is not how it's meant to be. Even in the MCQs, take out that 1 minute to read the question, to go over your options. It is very easy to make mistakes in MCQ. It is very easy to score, but it is equally easy to get marks cut. And your MCQ can make or break your actual grade, right? So you must be careful about the options you are reading, the options you are choosing. Don't be in a haste. Okay? Don't write less, but also don't overwrite. Don't just vomit everything you know. Come and says human capital formation, I'm going to vomit everything I know about it, even if it is a 2-marker. Please don't do that. Write the appropriate length. If it's a 2-marker, you need to have 2 points. 1 mark for identification, 1 mark for explanation. Please only give 2 points. If they will say list 2 programs of the government, please list only 2 programs by the government. Don't list 3 or 4 or 5. You know 2, you list 2, you are 100%. If you are not sure, then maybe 3. But don't write half a page explaining the program. That is not what the question is asking you to do. Don't waste your time writing unnecessary stuff. That is a very common mistake especially a lot of high scoring students tend to make. They feel they know it all, they should, because that will upset your time management. That will not let you finish your paper in time. You may do some questions very, very well, but you will end up compromising or rushing through some questions. Again, handwriting has to be legible. If you're rushing through your questions and handwriting is not legible, examiner can't give you marks. They will just give one big circle and say can't read. No marks, even though it was right. But because it was illegible, you don't score. Okay, start sections on a new page. Always start a new section. So section A, even if you're leaving questions, you're doing MCQs, you're doing 2 markers, you want to do the 3-6 marker later, leave enough space, move to the new section. Try and attempt your paper in the pattern it has been provided. Follow the question of the paper. Don't do question 2, question 6, question 8, question 4. Please don't do it like that. Examiners find it very difficult to mark, and more often than not, if they get irritated, if it is so haphazard, you may end up actually getting lesser marks than you would have gotten otherwise. Don't think that, oh, I only know these 4 questions, let me attempt 2, 3, 6, 9, and the others I'll do baad mein jo mujhe nahi aate. Please leave space, but you should follow the sequence of the questions. Okay. Once you have written some of the answers, you should underline the key points. Sometimes you have written a keyword, something you want the examiner to see particularly, you should underline. Pencil is fine. Colored pens are of course not allowed, either blue or black. So carry blue or black. You're writing with blue, underline with black. You're writing with black, underline with blue. That's about it. Make your paper neat, legible, easy to read. Leave spaces between your answers. Some children will leave full pages. Don't do that either. 1 line is enough. Not 2, not 3, not 4. Extra space also you don't want to waste. It will make your paper unnecessarily lengthy to check. Finish your answer, leave 1 line, start another answer. Leave 1 line, start another answer. Okay? And don't waste time. So you should have a watch. You should know that every 1 hour, you should have finished 1/3 of the paper. 3 hours the paper is 1/3. Approximately 25 marks to 28 marks of the paper should be done in 1 hour. Break that down even further. Every half an hour, you should have attempted 13, 14 marks of the paper. Okay? Keep breaking up your time. Keep an eye on the watch. Okay, I wanted to do MCQs first. I want to do both section A and section B MCQs first. Finish it in 30 minutes. Don't try to finish it before that. Minimum 30 minutes to 40 minutes you should take for your MCQs. Then you move on. But keep an eye. Have I completed this many marks in this much time? Okay, and that will help you stay within the, that will prevent you from rushing towards the end. And also, if you constantly keep looking at the clock, you will know that you are on track. I think there's a question. Yes, you can use a black pen over here. Black and blue are both allowed. Okay. Diagrams, if drawn, macro diagrams, because development doesn't only the poverty cycle, you have a diagram, and otherwise you have your macro diagrams. So they should be drawn not too big and not too small. Make them 1/3 to 1/2 the size. This is the size of the page. You should only make that much. Because if you make too big a diagram, it will take up too much time. You make too small a diagram, it is not legible. Examiner can't read the labeling. You will not have enough space to label it. It looks clumsy. Let's not do that. So ideally, 1/3 of the page to 1/2 of the page is the maximum that your diagram size should be. And make sure that you do it in pencil. Darken the pencil and use it, because it should not be too light. It should be legible. It should not be overtly legible. Okay, for numericals, your calculations should be very, very clearly shown. Okay, all steps of solving should be shown. Okay, for 3 markers, 4 markers, and 6 markers. Like I said, 6 markers is not that big a deal. It looks very big. It's so many marks. Actually, it is just 3 points, 2 marks each, which is the same thing as doing 3 2-mark sums, 2-mark questions. So the time that you take to do 3 2-mark questions, which is the 60 to 80 words one, just multiply that by 3 and you will get 1 6 mark. So break it up. Evaluate reasons for poverty reduction. So say, okay, the government did X, policy 1, policy 2, policy 3. This led to this policy reduction. This led to absolute poverty reduction. This led to relative poverty reduction. What could have been done? So 2 marks for and 1 against. However, this did not get done. So there is a suggestion. That is your discuss question. Okay. And of course, 4 marks, break it up. 2, 2, and even the 2, 2, you identify the keyword 1, that this was the reason this happened. How did it link to it? That is when you explain it. Okay, I hope this is now seeming much easier. The paper is seeming much more attemptable. You're able to attempt it much faster, much quicker. You are feeling more confident about your abilities as a learner also, right? And all of these get enough practice of each type of question. So again, look at the rapid revision. It's got so many questions of every kind. Please go through it. Once you do 5, 10, 15 questions of the same type or from across the syllabus and topic wise, you're going to be very, very confident. Okay, so it's a good idea to try to use the rapid revision for questions. Okay, here we are. And this is what the book looks like. Get yours right now. It's updated. It's also got some bullet points. It's also got some short notes. It's an excellent resource. Please go ahead and get yourselves one. You will benefit for sure. Okay. Okay, this is just instructions that I copied from the CBSE 2025 question paper, same as what we did. So long answer type is basically multiple short answer type. Long answer is the same as a short answer, only short answer you stop at 1 point, long answer you give 3 short answer points, and you've got your long answer question. And of course, even the instructions in the book is going to tell you to attempt all subparts together, right? So you have to attempt all subparts, means that question 1, A, B, C, D has to be done together. Don't do B, D, C, A. Then there are chances that none of the questions will end up getting marked. So follow the sequence. Can't do it, don't waste your time thinking about it. Leave space, move on. All right? Okay, so no overall choice in the question paper, but internal choice provided in some of the questions, few of the questions. Sometimes they will give it in 6 marker, sometimes 4 marker, sometimes 3 marker. There is no set pattern to it. So you can be prepared for any eventuality. Only one of the choices has to be attempted. Please do not attempt both choices. Choose your question and attempt it accordingly. And if you think you made a mistake, you want to reattempt it, cut it out, put a star, say please see page whatever, and do it again. Don't additionally attempt it and expect that both will be seen and you will get the best. No examiner has so much time. They have hundreds and thousands of scripts to mark. They want to finish their work as soon as possible. So try and make it easy for them by improving the presentation, by improving the way you write. Must use keywords in your answers, whether 2 marker or 3 marker or 4 marker or 6 markers. You must always emphasize on the keywords in the answer. If those keywords are missing, but you've given a full Ram Kahani and history geography of it, even then you will not end up scoring full marks. Without keywords, you cannot score full marks. If I say how does change in exchange rate impact current account, you can't say it rises or falls. You have to say whether depreciation is leading to a deficit or a surplus. You have to connect it using these keywords. A change in the exchange rate, a fall in the exchange rate will fall the current account. Very vague. Okay, especially macro, especially development government programs, all these technical terms, government agencies, these are all very, very important. Some facts, you cannot mess up on facts. If they ask you for historical facts that 1991, what was the policy called? You have to say it was the LPG policy. Okay, you can't say that the government decided to open up. That is very casual way of talking. You are trying to do an academic paper. You have to use the keywords. You have to use the technical points. So even when you're learning, when you're revising, there the emphasis must be there. Okay, now I'm opening up the floor. I have covered all that I needed to in terms of competency-based and tips and things like that. I have got some questions that I thought that we could practice from the rapid revision series, just to give you a teaser about what the book is about. Please go ahead and please answer. So I haven't even changed the question numbers. These are literally as they are from the rapid revision book. Okay, so would anyone like to just put your responses on the chat? Then we can all decide whether they are correct or not. And of course, any questions. So I have covered all that I needed to. Let's do some practice. Okay, 4A, correct. Correct, Ovia. Good. What about question 5? Benefits of on-the-job training are? Excellent. C. Good, Shagun. Both increase in productivity and easier to adopt new technology. Okay, let's look at question 7. Which year did the government make it free? When we had RTE, Right to Education Act. 2009. Very good. Part B. 7 is B. Let's look at question 8. This is also a CBSE question. Which of these regulates the health sector? Now, this is a typical memory and recall question. This is not competency based. Okay. Maybe question 5 is a competency based question, but if you realize that 4, 7, and 8 are pure facts. So they are on the lower level thinking. They are the traditional questions. The competency based question here is the benefits of on the job, because you have to apply it and also evaluate it. Correct. A, ICMR. Absolutely correct. Excellent. Okay. Let's do some assertion reason. I've got 2 questions here. Let's look at assertion reason questions. Okay. So Shagun feels it's 4A. Movia also feels it. Very good. I agree. These assertion reason questions are competency based. Okay. They are going to need you to know the content, but also apply it and also critically think about it. Ki acha hai ya bura hai. Critical thinking is what? When you're able to pass a judgment, is it good or not? Okay. Question 6 is A. Correct. Correct. Okay. Let's move on. Okay, let's look at some statement. So all these questions that I've taken are from the rapid revision series. Let's do some statement questions. Are both true? Are both false? Is one of them true? Correct. 8C. Ovia, do you agree? Since I have Ovia and Shagun both participating. Yeah, correct. Thank you. Okay. Let's look at question 9. I encourage the others also to participate, please. There are 5, 6 of you. I encourage you all to participate also. Okay, economic growth means the increase in real national income. Okay, I think I would go with I don't think human development and human capital are the same concept. I think human development is a wider concept than human capital formation. Human capital formation can lead to development. You don't think so? What would make you choose A then? Would you like to give me your reasoning? Okay. So I'll wait for you to revert on that. If you think about 9A, then we can go ahead with 9A. For now, I would differ a little bit, but never mind. Okay. Let's look at this. Let's match the columns. This is also rapid revision. So this typically may not come in your paper, but these are good concepts or good types of questions to practice when you're revising. Okay. You might get combinations in your MCQs based on these. So let's take a look. Yeah. Okay. So migration is C1. Okay. No worries. No worries, Shagun. Okay. There is C1. What else? What's physical capital? The word physical only gives it away. The word physical gives away the answer. B is 4. Okay. A is 2, correct. So then my D automatically becomes 3, right? I'll type it here for you. Okay. So we have D, 3. Okay. Correct. So this is a competency-based question, right? There is memory, but over and above that, you have to apply and you have to think. So these are somewhat competency-based questions. Okay. Distinguish between human capital and human development. Anybody? Would you like to type in the answer before I reveal it? Anything on the chat? Any pointers you want to add in? Okay. Human capital focuses on improving people's abilities primarily. Yeah, correct. Brilliant. Okay, so it goes beyond that. So human development is a wider concept than human capital. Human capital only sees people as skilled labor or as a factor of production where labor is viewed as capital because they are used as a factor of production. Development will go into the qualitative aspects. So human capital can be measured quantitatively. Human development is more qualitative also, which is what Shagun has written. So now, depending on whether this is a 2-marker or a 3-marker or a 4-marker, you know how to attempt it. You go more and more in depth if the same question carries more marks. If it's only a 2-marker, you write one sentence on capital and development, you're covered. If it's a 3-marker, you try and give at least 2 points of difference and try and elaborate a little bit more. 4-marker, then you have to give at least 2 different points of reasoning. Like you will say that one is a narrower concept, one is a broader concept. The definition, of course, you always start with. And then the third level, if it's a 6-marker, then you go on a little bit more about how it is used as a means to end, how development can lead to economic growth, how human capital can lead to economic growth but may not necessarily lead to better quality of life. So how do you keep going more and more in depth into the question? Okay, and see how they're using the terms very carefully. They're using labor productivity, educated, making the choices. So these words are keywords. Like I was saying constantly that you have to use keywords, link it to productivity, link it to economic growth, link it to investment. You know, these are the kind of words that they're looking for in your answers. And this is what is going to help you score full marks. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's do this. Let's practice this. This is also a CBSE question. Let's practice this. Can we solve this? What method is it looking like? Income method, production method, or expenditure method? I would say expenditure method since no one else has come forward. Should we just quickly calculate it? Correct, expenditure method. So what is our equation there? C plus I plus G plus X minus M, right? So my calculation here, this was a 3-marker, if I remember correctly. So my private final consumption expenditure was 1,000. Then what is my investment? Gross fixed minus my net additions. 4,100 over here. Okay, let's do this together. To show me the breakup. So 2,000 plus the depreciation was actually a plus, right? Then what is my government expenditure? 2,000. I got that. Okay. Oh, sorry. Investment was 1,000. Then my government expenditure is 2,000. Okay. Plus net exports is 100, which will give me my NDP at market price. I will add also NFIA to get NNP. I will subtract my net indirect taxes. And I will subtract my depreciation. Okay, so you show the working like this. You put the formula, you show the working, and then we will get 4,100. I think I've got that answer. Yeah, mostly. All right, brilliant. Let's move on. So I'm just trying to vary the kind of questions that you can get. All of these are in the rapid revision. They're also from the past paper. So the rapid revision is not only got theoretical questions, actually got questions that are in the past paper. This one is from the past paper. Okay, define tax, 1-marker. So this is a 3-marker that has been broken up into 2 subparts. So you should be able to score full on these because they're so easy and they're just there, right? So define tax is your memory and recall kind of a question. Anybody define tax? What is the key word in a tax? What is it that we're looking for? Nobody? It is a okay. But charge on money or property can also be a fees or a fine, na? Then what makes a tax a tax? Even rent can be a charge on money or a charge on property. If I've rented an apartment, that charge on my property is also rent, right? Then what is this? What does it have to be? It's a mandatory payment, and to whom? To the government. So mandatory or compulsory payment to the government is how you're going to define tax. A charge on money or property is a very vague definition. Okay? The examiner may not agree with you. So you will get 0 marks. How are you going to make it sure short income for the government? Correct. How are you going to make it a sure short full marks? Is when you give the keyword. It is a mandatory payment or compulsory payment. It is an income for the government. The word government has to come in. The word compulsory has to come in. Okay? And of course, there is no quid pro quo. You may not get your money's worth. You can't evade it. All of that is all XYZ. But using the keywords is the shortest and the surest way to score. Okay, let's look at the second part. On the basis of the given image, categorize the items into direct and indirect taxes. Okay, anybody? Now this is competency based. Just being able to interpret data, right? And to give your take on it. So this, you have to know the tax first, that is the content, and then you have to be able to categorize it separately. So anyone? Correct. Got it. Excellent. Okay, I think both of you, Ovia and Shagun, you are participating. You all are well on your way to getting 80 on 80. Okay, just 1 6 marker. I just wanted to discuss so importance of microcredit program in rural development. You should always start with defining the terms. So what is microcredit? What is rural development? Grassroots development in the villages is considered rural development, improvement to health and sanitation, and also what do you mean by microcredit? Again, at the grassroots level, smaller stakes. Then there is a sample answer that has been provided. So self-help groups have emerged, and groups are the recipients of this microcredit program. What do we mean by these self-help groups? What comprises them, and how are they benefiting from it? That they are able to get collateral-free, small amount loans, and so the risk of default is also lower because it is productive debt. They are borrowing it for the purpose of investing and gaining an income from it so that they're able to repay. The fact that it is collateral free is important because that is the key about SHGs and microcredit, that the money is raised from the community itself. Okay, and you pay back to your community. They are local people. There is no collateral. It is interest free, and so you can take your time, and you have EMI kind of standardized payments across a longer duration of time. Okay, and then of course you have facts, which every time you mention in your answers, it's always adds to your answer. So 6 crore women were members of so many SHGs or self-help groups, and these credit provisions were provided to them. And so there is also this bit of trust, right? That when you're borrowing from people you know, you are more likely to pay back to them rather than from a bank where you don't know the official, where he's demanding things of you, it's impersonal. So again, the self-help group, the importance can come. So if you're able to provide 3 to 4 of these points, you're going to be able to score. Okay, I'm almost done. I'm just coming very close to the thing. All right. So we, after our conversation or after our talk in August, when we had the board prep blueprint series, we had conducted the quiz. And even though most of the categories, most of the subjects have 3 winners, but based on the high criteria, the good quality selection that Eschan did with economics, only 2 winners have qualified. And so there was no third winner because there was just nobody who attempted it well enough to actually got that score to be given a third prize. So our first prize, congratulations, is Kanak Agarwal from Ghaziabad, Deep Memorial Public School, and Shakun, you're here from Rudrapur from Amenity Public School. So congratulations to both of you. And you are going to get your vouchers very soon from Escha. And with that, I would like to wrap up and I would like to say thank you.
Yeah.
Any feedback on the session? Children, you all have attempted the session.
Congratulations, Kanak and Shagun, for being winner of the Vote Blueprint quiz. And thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah. So thank you so much, Pritha ma'am, for such an insightful session. What an insightful and practical session it was. I hope thank you to Ms. Pritha Zain for providing us with such valuable strategies for time management, answer presentation, and how to approach questions like a board topper. We hope you now feel better equipped to tackle economics with confidence and clarity. Remember, the key is in focused practice, effective revision, and managing your exam stress. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to congratulate our quiz winners. Your hard work truly paid off. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. Keep practicing on our YouTube channel, S Chand School Education. We have more sessions coming your way soon. Stay tuned. Thank you so much once again for joining the session. Thank you so much, Pritha ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. All the best for your exams and do well. And for anything, you can write to S Chand and they can always forward your queries to me. I will be here, most happy to address your queries. Okay? Bye-bye. And all the best for your exams.